everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I have the very first package from Bead Box Bargains to share for the new year 2022. So I picked out some of these products last month after getting the coupon code in their monthly subscription, and of course I'm back to share some of the finds that I picked out from their sister site so I can share with you what I got and you can see some of these items up close. So let me go ahead and tear into this box. And as you can see, this flat rate U.S. Postal Service box is very full of some beading goodies. The total order came to about $125.74 with the $375 shipping. And I was able to use the coupon code from last month to save about $52 off this order. So everything you'll see here today came to about that amount, and the items are changing all the time. So it's great to check out Bead Box Bargains on a regular basis because they sell a lot of closeout beads and findings. So what they have at one moment may not last for the long term. So some of these things you'll see today may not be available any longer on their site, but like I said, they're adding things all the time. So you'll probably see items that I didn't see when I placed my order. We'll get started with the gemstone strands first. Before I get into it, I do have a coupon code. It's Opal15, and that will save you 15% off of your purchase. I'll leave that as well as the link to Bead Box Bargains down below so you can check out what they have at this time. And they've got a wide selection of gemstone beads. Great place to pick those up, especially at very reasonable prices. And I love seeing all the new cuts and varieties they have coming in on a regular basis. The first strand of gemstone beads I picked out are these. These are the Soda Light. It's approximately 2.8 to 3 millimeters in size, and these are faceted rounds. It's a 7-inch strand for $349 before the coupon code that I used. And I just love these tiny faceted round gemstone beads. You can see how they're all just a little bit different. We have the shades of medium blue along with some shades of deeper blue, and you can see those sparkly facets that are cut into the stones. Next up are some of these faceted garnet beads. The size is a 3 by 2 millimeter, and they're actually a rondelle shape, so they're kind of a compressed round. This is a 7-inch strand. It was $379 before the discount. You can see that overall gorgeous, very deep wine red shade, some being a little bit darker than others. For the third strand, how beautiful are these? These are apatite, and they are a rounded cube. This is a 7-inch strand. It was $869 before the discount, and there's also some faceting going on in these cubes as well. Really unique cut and such a stunning color combination with that cerulean and aqua and also a little bit of teal. That's a really unique strand. Speaking of unique strands, I had seen these before and I didn't pick them up, but these were just really interesting to me. These are the 20 to 40 millimeter top drilled rough quartz points. These are dyed blue and pink ombre, and it's a 6.5-inch strand for $7.99. And I just think a little bit of this goes a long way. Like even if you took a single point and did some wire wrapping with it, there are some gorgeous chunks of quartz here. They're all a little bit different. If I lay them out there, you can really see all the different shapes they have, the different lengths, but the hole is drilled at the top of each chunk of quartz. And I think there's like 16 pieces on the strand, which is awesome. And depending on how the light hits, you get different flashes of the blue and pink, but also with those two mixed together, you get a lot of purple as well. I also picked up another strand of apatite. These are the faceted rounds, approximately 15 inches on this one, and they are about 4 millimeters in size. And again, you have that really pretty combination of the different shades of blue, aqua, teal coming together. All the beads being a little bit different, of course. You can see all of the sparkly faceting that makes these gemstones even more eye-catching. Up next is another strand of apatite. These are a lot lighter in color and a lot more transparent. It's a 7-inch strand of 3mm faceted rounds, as you can see, so just definitely much different than the strand before. Smaller beads, and they're not as dark and opaque as the ones we just looked at, but they're still gorgeous. So it was $8.59 for this strand, $4.79 for this one, and then the next one I have is 3mm rhodochrosite, $5.99 for this one, 7 inches, and the beads are 3mm in size. Lovely combination of rosy pinks and some earthy shades and even a little bit of white that come together in this selection. And I love the faceting that these have too, adding the extra eye-catching property and a nice assortment of all the different colors that you expect to see in this type of stone. Next is some chalcedony at $4.39. These have just the slightest tint of blue to them, but they are super light. Some of the beads being a little bit more opaque than others, just depending on how the stone was cut. Just a very frosty and icy looking, very tiny faceted round. Next up is the rhodonite. These are 4x3mm rondelles, also faceted, 7-inch strand for $4.99. And these have some of that dusty rosy pink and a lot more of the earthier shades and also the more dark brown and a little bit of black combined with the pink. That gives us another really unique and gorgeous combination. And again, we get a really good variety of all those different tones on one strand. Up next is a 15-inch strand of 3mm rainbow fluorite faceted rounds at $5.99. I love the fluorite because you get a mixture of the purple and sometimes some green and clear, and in some cases a little bit of blue and gray. This strand has some of the deep purple fluorite dotted up the strand. A lot of the beads have that lighter and more transparent appearance. And here is a look at them off of my hand so you can see how the light passes through this selection of small faceted rounds. And I'm really loving these next two strands. First of all, they are very long at 15 inches each, and these beads are super chunky and have a very interesting cut. They are both crackled agate. The first one here is the deep purple, and then I just have the regular purple. They're $8.29 per strand. Get a lot of beads on here with those 15 inches. With the regular purple strand, you can see the crackling inside of the beads is more noticeable, and then with the deeper strand, the deeper color kind of takes over those beads. Putting these strands down, you can kind of see them in context next to all of those tiny faceted rounds that we just took a look at. These are sized 16 by 10 millimeters, and you can see they're all a little bit different, but very similar in the way that they're cut. And then next is one of my favorites that I picked up. This is lapis lazuli. Faceted cylinders are the shape. They're about 8 to 12 millimeters. It's a 7.5-inch strand for $5.29. And look how vibrant that blue is. So gorgeous. You get some of the earthy shades of tan and brown and a little bit of gray mixed in with the blue, but that concentration of blue is really popping in these cylinders. All the cylinders are a little bit different. As far as the circumference, the length is very similar, but they're all just a little different, and I really like how each bead is unique. This next strand is another one of my favorites. This is the rainbow tourmaline. These are finely faceted rounds, about 4 to 4.5 millimeters in size, and this is a long 15-inch strand. But look at all of the unique colors that are going on in this rainbow tourmaline. Of course, a lot of pink, but you also get shades of green and topaz, clear, brown, black, a little bit of peach. So a lot going on in this strand, and another well-balanced strand of the different colors that we expect to see in the rainbow tourmaline. Next up, some more pink and some more tourmaline. We have the 14.5-inch strand of 3mm pink tourmaline. Finely faceted rounds. These are $9.29 before the discount. That rainbow fluorite, by the way, was $9.89. These have a gorgeous toned down bubblegum pink-like shade for the most part, although some are lighter or darker than others. But I'm loving all the different concentrations of that pink shade. And then finally for the gemstone strands, I have a 7.5-inch length of 4 by 2.5 to 3 millimeter garnet faceted rondelles, $3.99 for this one, and another gorgeous berry or wine colored bead with the compressed oval-like shape, catches the light beautifully with the facets, and is another stunner for sure. Then next I have some amethyst pendants to show you. They had a lot of these that popped up this month that I didn't remember seeing before. The first two are approximately 28 by 19 millimeters, and they have a narrow brass trim. So holding this up to the light, you can see more of the detail. And the reason I got two of some of these is because with stones, I know a lot of them are going to be completely different. So some of the amethysts, for example, might be lighter or darker. Some might have different patterns of striations that give them a different look. So I just wanted to compare. But there you can see that thinner brass edging, which I like, and the stone actually protrudes further out of the front and the back, and also has some faceting as well. So for each of these, it's $6.98 before the discount. And this one is similar. It's larger though. It's about 45 by 21 millimeters, flat teardrop pendant with the gold finished brass edging, $3.29 for this one. And this one is a little bit thinner. It's more of a slice. It doesn't have the faceting on it. And there's a look at the side. And then next, I picked up several that look similar to this. They had different shapes of the settings and also the stone shapes. This one, though, is the 48 by 27 millimeter antique silver finished brass amethyst teardrop pendant for $3.99. And it's got the teardrop shaped stone that is pointing downward. It's got a metallic bail intact if you just wanted to add that right onto maybe a beaded strand or a chain. And there's a look at the back. I think the color and overall look of the stone is beautiful, as well as the look of the setting. Next up is this one, and unfortunately my stone is a little bit off center, so you can see that there is kind of a gap there on that one. So just one of the risks you might take by picking these up, just to let you know. This one is $3.79. It's got the oval stone and some of these rhinestones around this sort of leafy border. And there's the look at the bail that comes intact. The one we just looked at was $3.79, and these two are $3.99 each. I picked up two of them, and they are the 53.5 by 30 millimeter amethyst fancy teardrop pendants in antique silver. So similar to the ones we've been looking at, just a different size and shape of stone. These have a larger oval than the previous one, and the setting is a totally different shape. Really like the chevron kind of pattern that this amethyst stone has, and just another example of how they can all be different from each other because of the natural material. I also misquoted these two smaller amethyst teardrops. They're actually $3.49 a piece, not $6.98. All right, and then finally, I have these two 34 by 43 millimeter amethyst and brass teardrop pendants in antique silver. These are $3.99 each. And both have that beautiful deep purple with some of the white in combination, and this more scrolly-like patterned setting with the teardrop facing up. And these look like they're in good shape and have the bail intact as well. So in addition to gemstones and pendants, Bead Box Bargains, of course, has a great selection that continues to grow of check glass beads as well. I did pick up some of those this month, and I got some of these flowers in various shades of pink. This first one is a 4 by 17 millimeter. It's called the Check Glass Table Cut Flower Bead in milky pink opal / bronze pink luster, and these are 99 cents per bead. I picked up 4 of each color. So there is that first selection up close, gorgeous light pink with that slightly metallic bronzy luster coating around the edges and frames each of those petals. It's the same on both sides, and the hole goes right through the center of the flower. Next, I picked up 4 of the color combination called Pink Opal / Bronze Pink Luster. They have less of that milky appearance, so the light passes through these quite a bit more. You can see as I'm holding one of these up to the light, and you also get that lustrous shine around the edges. Here's the third combination. This one's called Deep Lilac Opal / Picasso, and they definitely have a deeper, more mauve color tone to them. The Picasso gives them a more earthy, mottled appearance around the edges, and I think all of these pinks would look really pretty together in something. Along with the last selection, which is called Milky Pink Opal / Picasso. These have that earthier type of finish going on around the edges. They have the milky pink inside, and you can see all of these flowers together. Like I said, I think they would look really pretty combined in something, especially since the colors are so similar, but they're all just a little bit different. Next, for check glass, I picked up 2 of these strands of the corrugated melon beads in mixed purples. They were $1.29 each for 28 pieces, and you can see the combination of the creamy, lighter purple with the slightly more transparent, deeper shade of purple, and I guess I was on a purple kick for this order. Next up for check glass, I have 2 bags of these. These contain 5 pieces of the 12mm table cut glass sunflowers in lilac opal / silver wash, $1.59 per bag. So 10 of these in total, really, really beautiful light purple that lets a little bit of the light through, and that silver wash that is surrounding each of those segments is actually quite bright and shiny. It's really eye-catching. And then last for check glass, I picked up 4 bags of these containing 2 pieces each of the 20 by 9mm check fire polish faceted teardrops in light amethyst / Picasso. Also about $1.29 per bag. There's a look at that one under the lights. You can see that gorgeous shade of purple as the light passes through, and then how you get that Picasso finish on either end, and you have the faceting. They're just gorgeous. And there they are in my hand. I think they make for some beautiful drops at the bottom of an earring in particular. You can see how that hole runs right through the length of the bead. Bead Box Bargains, of course, has tons and tons of different findings and chain as well. They have a selection of Chinese crystal and other types of crystal beads. This time I will wrap it up with some pendants, and I'm going to start out with this selection right here. These are the 36mm Monstera leaf pendants, rubberized matte green, $1.39 for 2 pieces. These are actually really smooth. They do have the slightest rubberized feeling to them, even though they seem like they are metallic at their base. That coating is really nicely intact, and there's a look at the back. Those are pretty cool, and definitely not like anything I currently have. And then I picked up some metallic pendants. These are 2 pieces of 30mm filigree style floral rounds in antique bronze for $1.09. Here are the 2 of these, and I just love having these different filigree type pendant or finding options to bead onto. You can really get creative with something like that. They are the same on both sides and just give you a lot of opportunities with all those different openings all throughout the piece. Next are the 35mm scrolled heart medallion pendants in antique silver, $1.39 for the 2 pieces. So similar to what we just looked at, just in a totally different design with a couple of hearts, it looks like, that are scrolled inside. Again, with the opportunities for beading onto something like this, and it's just slightly concave. And the last bag is a pair of pendants that are 37 by 32mm. These are called ornate floral medallions in antique silver, $1.49 for the 2. And it says these are floral, which I can definitely see. They also really remind me of snowflakes, which is what it happens to be doing right now outside. We're getting a rare early January snowfall in Central Virginia, so that's kind of exciting, especially since I don't have to go anywhere. My son is certainly excited about the snow. There's a look at the back. The pointed edges on these medallions kind of turn up a little bit at the back, which gives this a little bit more dimension, but those are beautiful. Last up, with each order, you'll get a free gift, and these, of course, are going to be different for each order. I have some yellow check glass Hawaiian flowers, some silver tone jump rings, and then a couple of these corally red beads, which I know we've seen come in a past subscription box. So that's everything I picked out from Bead Box Bargains. I hope you enjoyed checking out these selections up close. And once again, feel free to use the coupon code OPAL15 and check out the link to their website right down below the video. They are separate from their monthly subscription, which I'll also leave the information to right down below. With that, you get that coupon code that you can use at this online store to pick up some great beading and jewelry making supply deals. I highly recommend Bead Box Bargains and definitely recommend checking out their site on a regular basis to see what's new. Things come and go pretty quickly. Feel free to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these finds, if we picked up any of the same things or anything else you'd like to say. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Also subscribe while you're here and feel free to share with your other bead-loving friends. That's all I have for now, but until next time, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.